This is the brand new 2015 Kia Soul EV, and of course EV stands for electric vehicle. It is in fact the 11th vehicle that's all electric that's sold here in America. But like most EVs, it will only be sold in California. What makes this special? Well, it gets 93 miles of range on a full charge. And when I come to these manufacturer first drive programs, they do a little bit of a presentation. And if you're interested in this vehicle, we call it almost everything you ever wanted to know. And that is coming up next on the Fast Lane Car.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining. Been working on this car for several years now, so we're very, very excited to share it with you, and I think you're going to be very, very impressed with the car today. So let's get started. Why electrify the Soul? Now, when we started this project, we had lots of different options, but the Soul really lends itself to electrification or electromobility because it's cool, it's iconic, it's become a signature vehicle for Kia. It also has a great nimble size that works for urban EV markets, whether you're in the United States or Europe or Asia. And what it really creates is a unique blend of efficiency and utility and function. And part of this is related to the package. And what I mean by that is the sill height, the cabin height, the size of the car really allows the battery to package underneath. So altogether, what we have is a car that has a roomy interior, very, very little battery intrusion. It looks cool, it's got a great range, and we think we're going to be very, very successful with it. Now, let's talk about the market for a second. There's currently 11 EVs in the market space, including, of course, the Leaf, the Focus EV, the 500e, and the Model S, and so forth. This car and the e-Golf are coming up. This car will be on sale in about a week or so. And just incidentally, to be clear, EV sales are up 29% this year, and they're going to continue to rise next year and probably through the balance of the decade. We're very, very bullish on EVs. So where does the Soul EV fit? Invariably, it'll be cross-shopped against the Leaf, the 500e, the Focus EV, and so forth. But we have a very unique position in the marketplace because of the design, because of the package, because of the technology, and a lot of what this car has to offer relative to these competitors. So we're coming to market with a very simple grade strategy. It comes to market with the Soul EV, and that car starts at $33,700. And you get standard DC charging, you get standard Uvo Ev Services, you get a standard 6.6 kilowatt charger. It has an 8-inch Navi screen, which is bigger than Leaf and bigger than e-Golf. You get standard rear camera display. When you get the Soul EV Plus, which is this model here, you get leather seat trim, you get cooled front and rear seats, you get folding side mirrors, you get front and rear park sense, and a couple of other features. And the cool thing is we're coming to market with a great lease at $249 a month for 36 months and $1995 down, and 36,000 miles too. So when we developed the car, there was a lot of emphasis on lots of areas, including the battery, efficiency, ride comfort, and NVH. There we go. Charging, connectivity, and there's the charging, and ultimately having an eco-friendly proposition inside and out. So let's talk about each one of these. The heart of the car is the battery, and we've got a state-of-the-art lithium-ion polymer battery. It produces 27 kilowatt hours of energy. It's more than Leaf, more than Focus, more than i3, and it's possible because of the density of the energy density within the cells, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But the cool thing is because we have so much energy crammed into a small space, the battery doesn't intrude on the cabin space. And another cool thing is the battery is mounted down low, so it produces a lower center of gravity, and it's surrounded front and rear by crash zones, so it's a little safer. Now, We've worked with SK Innovation, our battery partner, to develop the battery specifically for this car. And it uses a nickel cobalt manganese cathode. That's the same material, incidentally, that's used in the BMW i3 and will be used in the next generation Chevy Volt. The anode, the negative side of the battery, uses a carbon graphite material, and both of these are bathed in a unique gel electrolyte. So we've got a lot of energy density crammed into a very small space. The other thing that the engineers focused on was degradation. Now there's a lot of importance out there, I guess, on range, especially over time. And our engineers worked on a very stable energy density over time. So when we promise you a certain amount of range, it remains there. They also focused on thermal stability and stable distance to empty. And the stable distance to empty, again, comes from the chemistry. And what we get out of that is when you're driving the car, you don't see the distance to empty freak out, oh my God, you got 30 miles. No, wait, it's actually 50. No, wait, it's 70. So it's very stable. And then finally, there's a great safety story where the battery has an overcharge protection device built into it, and there's fuses for each voltage sensing line. If there's any problem, the fuses snap and it cuts the power to the battery immediately. And then finally, underneath the battery are 5 cross members that help support it and protect it from intrusion. So all of this energy drives our AC synchronous permanent magnet motor. It produces 210 pound-feet of torque, and it's got a very linear power delivery. So when you're driving the car, you'll feel it's very smooth. It's got a lot of torque, it's got a lot of strength when you hit the gas or hit the big pedal. And it produces 109 horsepower. And both of these values are higher than what's offered by the Nissan Leaf. Another area of focus that our engineers spent some time on is on NVH and motor whine. We thought this is really important because when you drive the car, you'll find that it's very, very quiet. And part of that is due to the motor. And you'll notice on acceleration or deceleration or regen, there's almost no motor whine. And this is a byproduct of motor design, and it's a byproduct of a lot of other attributes, which I'll talk about in a second. So, we also spent a lot of time on creating efficiency. What do you mean by that? Well, let's try and pick up a few tenths here and there. So, it starts with the HVAC, and we've got a state-of-the-art heat pump-based HVAC system. Now, the heat pump system is very, very efficient, and it's actually relatively simple because you're tying together the heating system and the air conditioning system into one unit. And you can reverse the flow of that to heat the car, and you can have a normal air conditioning system as you need it. But the cool thing for the car is that it reduces energy consumption by 27%, HVAC energy consumption by 27%. Again, thinking about how do we maximize range and improve efficiency. Another bit of technology that's in the car is a driver-only ventilation system. And you can see there's a little button here. It's on the bottom of the center stack. You can push it. It says driver only. And what it does is it shuts off all the ventilation except what's blowing right at the driver. A little bit more efficient. And then finally, we have another technology we call air induction control. And what that does is, look, if you set the inside temperature for 66 degrees and it's 66 degrees outside, it's not going to run the AC compressor. Again, thinking about how do we maximize efficiency and extend range. There's a lot of other efficiencies in the car, including starting with super low rolling resistance tires. Now, these tires improve upon low rolling resistance tires by about 10%. I think it's the only EV out there, maybe the only car out there that has super low rolling resistance tires. Another area, of course, is aerodynamics, and the car has a full belly pan from bumper to bumper, and that improves aerodynamic drag by about 5%. But a byproduct of that is much improved interior quietness, because you don't hear the wind or the air tumbling under the engine room or tumbling under the floor of the car. And then we have, of course, regenerative braking. This is a third generation braking system. It's the same system that's used on the Optima Hybrid. And in this case, you can recover about 12% of the kinetic energy in the car. And the cool thing is, so it's simple. You can put it in big D and drive, like a normal car, or you can put it in big B and drive. And what that gets you for your EV enthusiasts is a one-pedal driving experience where you can hit the throttle and drive, and you can lift and recover a lot of that energy. Oh, and then finally, Right in here in the center cluster of the screen, of the gauges, is a 3.5-inch organic LED cluster, and that's going to feed you information on range and your efficiency and a lot of other information. But the cool thing is, since it's OLED, it's a little bit more efficient and it's a little bit more crisper, vibrant image versus a standard TFT screen. Okay, so what does that get us? What it gets us is 93 miles of EPA certified range. Now this is more than Leaf, it's more than Focus, it's more than 500e. And in fact, the only other car out there that probably has more is the Tesla Model S, and that's a $70,000 luxury sedan. So we're very, very proud of all the technology that's gone into this car, and what it results is a best-in-class range value. Okay, so what do we have? We have the same cool Soul style with some new twists. On the outside, the car will be offered in 4 color combinations. We have black with the red roof, which I call Testarossa. And blue with the white roof, which I think you've seen before. We have an all-white color and all-titanium color. So ultimately we have two solid colors and two two-tone colors. And on the outside, we've distinguished the Soul EV from the Soul. It starts with a different grille form. The charge ports are behind this door right here. So what you do is there's a little button to the left of the steering wheel. You push it. You can easily access the charge ports right here. That's your DC charger and your level 2. So we've distinguished the car on the outside by a unique grille form. It's got a unique fascia, slightly different headlight where it's got projector beams, and inside or around the projector beam is a little blue tinge. This is a Soul EV Plus, so it's got fog lights, and these are different from the fog lights on other Souls. On the side, of course, you've got the wheels, which are unique, lightweight, aerodynamic 16-inch wheels designed and developed specifically for the Soul EV. We have a unique rear fascia and unique taillights where the LED, there's an array of LEDs in here that actually are the brake lights. And then finally, we have badging on the car on the fender grille and the tailgate that specifically identify it as eco/electric. Okay, another really cool part of the car is on the inside. Now we got all this technology under the hood, in the battery, in the HVAC system, tires, but on the inside of the car, we used bio-based materials because we want to reduce the carbon footprint of the car. In fact, it's the world's best use of bio-based materials. And UL validated this. In fact, they confirmed this is the first vehicle in the world to earn UL environmental validation for bio-based organic content. And that's significant. There's 53 pounds of bio-based materials in the car. Again, the theme is to reduce the carbon footprint of the car. All right, well, what do you mean? Well, I mean that the plastics that compose most of the interior are literally made from corn and sugar. The corn and sugar forms the polymers and substrates of the headliner, the carpeting, the center console, the instrument panel surface, the A-pillar trim, the cargo trim, and so forth. It's a very unique proposition in the space, and we think the fact that we're helping to reduce the carbon footprint of the car by reducing the petroleum that's used inside the car is a good thing. So, I mentioned quietness earlier. We got this great motor that's designed to produce less NVH and less whine. We've got the aerodynamic panels underneath that improve quietness. We also have a more rigid structure. The Soul EV uses a little bit more high-strength and ultra-high-strength steel in the structure to make it more rigid and also help support the battery. I mentioned the 5 undercar crossbeams that support the battery and protect against intrusion, and then the smooth belly pan underneath the car to improve aerodynamics and reduce NVH. We have a reinforced B-pillar and a little bit more insulating materials throughout the car. So it's quiet and safe. Now, another really important part of EV owners' life with EVs is charging. And it seems if you're going to come to market with an EV, you need a good charging strategy, and we've got a great one. The first thing is we have standard DC charging. It's not an option, it's standard. And you'll notice even other cars, even like the i3, it's an option, but it's standard on this car. It uses the CHAdeMO protocol. It takes about 33 minutes to recharge the car from empty to 80%. Now, if you charge on level 2 AC charging, that's 240 volt, which you have at home in the garage on the dryer or something, it takes about 4.5 hours to recharge the car. If you charge out of the plug in the wall, it's about 24 hours. Now, beyond the chargers, we have a great infrastructure plan or strategy in that we're adding 17 DC chargers to our California dealers who sell this car. And in fact, we're improving or increasing the DC charging footprint in California by about 9%. So currently there's about 198 DC chargers in California. That's going to go to 215 when we get our DC chargers. They're almost done. They're almost ready to go. The other cool thing is when you get your Soul EV, you get a Kia Charge Up card. This gets you access to the dealer's charger and a couple of other charging networks, which we'll talk about later. But it's not unlike the Easy Charge card from Nissan with the Leaf or the Charge Now card you get when you get a BMW i3. And if you are a retail customer and you want to buy a charger or acquire a charger through us, you can. We have 3 charging partners we're working with, including Bosch, AeroVironment, and Leviton. We've got 3 for a variety of reasons. We want to offer convenience and value and selection. And 2, a cool thing is, if you want to include the cost of that charger in your lease, you can. So you can write one check, you can lease the car and acquire the charger. And then finally, one thing I didn't mention is the DC charger at the dealer is a ABB Terra 53 CJ, and we're very proud of this because the charger includes both protocols. If you're familiar with the CHAdeMO type, which fuels the Leaf and the Soul EV and the Mitsubishi i, but it also includes a nozzle for the SAE combo, which fuels i3, e-Golf, i8, Chevy Spark, and probably some more in the future. A Porsche 918 if that's your pleasure. And all of these chargers are now networked through Greenlots, which is our network charging partner, which means that the dealer can monitor the charging and understand exactly how much energy is being consumed. All right, so pulling it all together, what do we have? We have a really cool looking car with best-in-class range, superb NVH, a really neat combination of efficiency, function, and utility, standout design, lots and lots of advanced technology to help maximize range and improve efficiency. We're very, very proud of this car. And one more thing, we have Uvo Ev Services. Now what's that? Well, it builds upon our award-winning Uvo platform, and it provides lots and lots of EV information to our customers, specifically range information, charger location information, battery state of charge. And the cool thing is you can use your mobile phone to preheat or pre-cool the cabin while the car is grid connected. You can schedule charging, you can schedule climate events and so on and so forth from your smartphone, from uvo.com, and from, of course, the head unit. And here to tell you a little bit more about that is Henry Bizet.
So, that's a lot of information, but there is a bit of a catch. This car is only being sold initially in California and then in a few other states along the coasts. So if you're interested in this electric vehicle, you have 2 choices. Either move to California or don't. As always, this is Roman reporting for the Fastlane Car. Thanks for watching, and check out tflcar.com for more news, views, and everyday reviews. Ciao.